Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. And this is another episode of Healing Conversations. One of the favorite things that I love to do on this channel to interview people who have really come across difficult situations in their life. How did they heal from it? What was their story? And today I have a very interesting personality to talk to, who is Chiradeep Patra. And he is the founder of I Listen, and he is a life coach. He has his own unique way of coaching and his unique way of storytelling, which I loved about him. And that's when I thought that let's talk over our healing conversation so that a lot of people get to actually learn from this conversation. So, welcome to my channel, Chiradeep. It's so good to have
Thank
you.
you.
And apart from what I professionally introduced you like a life coach and as a founder, how would you like to introduce yourself? And what did get you into coaching and serving people through the word listening, especially?
Uh, Thank you so much. The first thing I would always uh, thank God for giving me opportunities, because unless He gives us opportunity, nothing is possible. And secondly, I thank you for giving me this opportunity, this platform to speak about myself and to put forth my message to the audience. And you rightly said, I am a life coach right now. But if I look back and explain the journey a little bit about myself, then I was an accountant. I started my career as an accountant, which is completely different than what counseling and life coach is all about. So after working as an accountant, account accounts work is a very dry and very routine job. And being a creative person, and I love new things, create new things. And but somehow I managed to complete my 20 years, and then I left my job and focused on writing. I'm already a writer, a blogger, which I have been writing for a long time. Like from 2006 onwards, I have been writing. And I had a desire to be an author. So apart from a life coach, I am also a published author now. And I already published 7 books. And I have plans to publish more books. And that's the short introduction about me, my present status. Um, how I came to life coach, I would say that my foundation was on pain and suffering. Okay, I was born a CHD. CHD stands for congenital heart defect. So I had a congenital heart defect from the very beginning. And when the doctor detected me as a CHD, I was taken to Vellore. I undergo my first surgery, major heart surgery in Vellore. I was just 3 years old that time, and after that, my second surgery was in 2001, and that's almost 23 years back. Uh, so so all this time, I was put under a barricade. Okay, but you know what happens when you put barriers in front of a river? It it breaks it down and move forward, right? I mean, that force has to be there. Okay, so I feel God created me as a river. Okay, it was difficult for me. It was difficult for people, for situation, for anything in life to stop me. What I want, what I wanted to be. And usually, when you want to grow, We will talk about that more. But I had a desire to grow uh, and help people, because I could feel that as I have seen so many restrictions in my life, food restrictions, don't go there, don't jump, don't run, don't play. So there are so many don'ts. Okay. So when I became a person without a barricade, like family members usually put more barriers.
Yeah.
Okay. They give the maximum support, but they also put bricks around you. Uh, so those who love you more, they hurt you more also. I mean, it's just it happens. I mean, it's not their fault, but it happens. So finally, when I came out of my house, I went to Calcutta and I lived alone. And I was there were barriers as well, because family members were also, their relatives were there. I was given, I mean, they were my local guardian. So I had my guardians everywhere. Okay, because I was born as CSD. So, but I was already 25 that time, and I wanted to freak out. I'm using that word because I never got a chance to freak out in my college and school life. And I wasted money. I wasted money in cafe, and my time and money in cafe, going to cafe, because there was no smartphone at that particular time.
Mhm.
Okay. And I spent so much time chatting with random people. And I want to say I have a desire to interact with people.
Mhm.
Okay. And all these things, after I ended my uh, career like as an accountant, all these things made me empathetic and compassionate. And I usually create a space for people uh, so that they can feel comforted. So because I have a MCom degree, Master in Commerce, I'm unable to. Counseling is my favorite choice. I mean, that's my first choice, but unfortunately, life took a different turn.
Mhm.
But so I left that idea of being a counselor, because I do not have qualifications and license for that. But as a person who has lived his life positively and joyfully, despite of so many barriers and don'ts and restrictions and pain and suffering, I lived my life happily. You can see, everybody can see it on my face.
Yeah.
It's not medication, it's not plastic smile, it's from within. Okay. So
And
that bubbling, yeah, please
yes,
ask me.
sorry to cut you off in between, but just to summarize for our viewers is that what I really love about your journey, and I feel is your biggest USP as a coach, is that in spite of the pain and suffering of such a major sickness and undergoing surgeries at the age of 3, and then again that you said you went when you
The
even
age
grew,
of 25.
yeah, 25 when you were like an adult. I mean, it's not easy. These things are not easy to comprehend for a mind to happen. I mean, if somebody hears the news that they have to undergo a surgery, that itself is such a big invitation to pain and suffering. And this, being through this and then thriving into it, because so many of the times, I mean, I'm not saying people are wrong about it, but those restrictions become their labels. I mean, we start feeling like a victim, and which is like a valid experience of a person who's suffering through an disease. So I want to understand, like in your case, you have really thrived out of it. You have returned these books and you're giving back to people. And in that limitations, you found out your possibilities. So I'm curious to understand, like, how are you holding this inside of you? Like, how did you hold this pain and suffering, these health issues, and they sort of became like a fuel to your journey but not a big limitation?
Uh, mm, there are two things. Uh, there are two kinds of people. First, let me talk about people. As you rightly said, uh, it's very natural to succumb to pain and suffering. It's natural,
Yeah.
and we are fragile, and we have emotions. We have our vulnerabilities. When somebody is going through pain and suffering, they will definitely, uh, pushed down. But there are people who also thrive
Hmm.
because suffering makes your character as well. When we go through suffering, it also makes your character. And it is up to you how you, uh, if you want to stay, dwell in suffering and in pain, you can choose that. But that won't help you. When I see the end, my end, like my journey will be like this. Suffering will be there throughout my life because my surgery, the second surgery even, it was not correctional surgery. It was improvemental surgery, which means it has uh, थोड़ा longevity ज्यादा कर दिया बस, that's all. Pain and suffering will remain. Okay, I will have complications. So either you, okay, my life is finished, you can say this, or you can say, no, I want to make use of this. Okay, so when I know that this is what my life is, I cannot change it. Let me change myself. Let me change my attitude. Let me change my character towards life and suffering. So that's two things. I chose this one, the positive one. And the second part is, um, I'm a true believer of God Almighty. And I believe if you don't have that inner strength, that divine strength within you, it's very difficult to combat the challenges of life throws at us. No, I have always surrendered myself to, okay, from the very beginning, because I started with pain and suffering. So every time my family taught me to trust in the Lord, to trust in God.
So here
And
are
I
the,
did that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So here are
So,
things.
sorry.
I'm sorry doing that to summarizing, because I'll tell you what, people's attention span is so less that you
Yeah.
just bring them back. So two things that I learned, and I noted it down. First, not suffering your suffering, but letting it be there and it will be a part
Yeah.
of it. And
Yes.
second, you said that sense of surrender and a belief in the higher power serve to be very, very powerful. You can continue.
Uh, Rutuja, you got disconnected for some time. I
Yes.
could not hear it.
Yeah. So I'm saying you can continue. I summarized it.
Yeah. So basically that divine strength within me made me to go further. And on the way, I learned to accept things. Okay. Either you reject and suffer further mentally, or you accept things. I have told at many places, I have told this thing. I wrote one article. Accept three S's in your life. Accept yourself, self meaning your weakness, your strength. You accept everything, your disease, your power, or whether you can sing, whether whatever talents, whatever you have, just accept yourself. That's very important. People, they don't accept themselves and they suffer. So accepting yourself takes away that limiting thoughts in you. Then accept your surrounding. God gives you relationship to cherish, not to crib about each other.
Yeah.
Okay. There are toxic relationship. I'm not talking about that. I'm not getting into that. But generally, we don't see toxicity because we are created that way to thrive together. We cannot live alone. People were sent to Rangoon. Why? And they put into isolation just to break them. So that's our nature. We are created that way to live together. We love interaction. So accept your surroundings, whoever, your family, your all the relationships all around, the people all around you, your friends. Accept everyone. Okay. And the third thing is accept your situation. The three is accept your situation, the circumstances you are in, or whether it's a financial condition, whether people are so worried that they just run the rat race to earn money. You know, earning money is fine, but when it becomes greedy, you are restless. When greed comes in, you are restless. You are earning money, you don't have time for yourself or your relationships. So accepting your situation, accepting your surrounding, the relationship, accepting yourself. These three things I practiced it deliberately. Okay, I understood it in hard ways. Then I continued with this. I'm still continuing with that. So that literally gave me uh, to stand on the face of challenges.
So this is a question that I want you to address to people who are having a certain kind of a physical health issue. And there are some health issues where you don't know whether you will recover or not. Whether we have faith on God. We do say that things will be fine and all of that. But the truth is that we really don't know if somebody, for example, has a challenge with using one of their hands, and you don't know if they will be able to heal it or not. Maybe in an accident or something happened to them. And I know many such stories like this. What is your message for them who are in between, where they don't know that they had the ability to use their hands or legs but now they don't? you know what would you say to them? How do they hold this inside of them?
That's a very difficult question because I do not have immediate threat or like of dying or something. But there are people like people who are seeing. I have lost my cousin brother. He was just 21 years old, and it was in 2011, and it was so painful. And can you just rephrase your question? I got confused. Yeah.
So I'm saying that if a person has lost the ability to do something due to their
Yeah.
illness, we lose some abilities to do, maybe to walk or maybe to use their hands or something before they had, but now they've lost it. And they don't know if they're going to recover from that. I think that breeds a lot of restlessness inside.
Yeah.
So, what would be your suggestion or advice to them?
Yeah. One of my friends, a very close friend, my schoolmate, he suffers from myopathy.
Okay.
There's a rare disease, and the female is the carrier,
Mhm.
but the male suffers in the family. Okay, their mother carried it to their family, and all four brothers suffer with myopathy. Nobody can walk or even lift their hands, limbs. So it's a very sad condition, and but he still walks. He still goes for. I mean, again, I say it is just a mindset, and you have to uh, break it. It's not easy. It's not at all easy. I can see that friend who is struggling so much. and I really don't know how he manages. I have I have visited him many times, and I sit with him, I pray with him, and I was like, and he shares his um, sufferings. Like he doesn't have physical pain as such, okay, like mine, but he has such disability that he cannot walk.
Mm.
I thank God that I am walking, still walking, because there are many such people who are of, I mean, they have similar conditions like mine, but they have already, I mean, they're on wheelchairs. Okay,
Yeah.
they suffer because of thick blood. So I really, I mean, this is a very difficult question to answer because I haven't gone through. Yeah,
No, I mean, there is no right answer to this, but this is something
yeah,
I am trying to understand from a lot of different people. And what I've seen working is, if I work with a client on this particular problem, I've seen what works is focusing more on what you can do. Because if you lost this
yeah.
ability, you have some other ability, and focusing more on that and not trying to fight it is very, very important. Like, how do I get rid of this? I think is a very important thing when it comes to in the journey, when you're in the journey of healing your physical pain. I feel
Mhm.
that not trying to get rid of it is a very, very important factor. So, taking this conversation forward, I want to understand that uh, I usually see that family members want to support, but what they're trying to do ends up hurting or, going in a wrong way. And I have
Yeah.
is this in so many situations when people speak to me. So if you were to give a guideline to the family members that, if somebody is suffering through such a serious illness or such a serious pain they go through on a regular basis, how do you feel that family, how should they support?
Uh, I just want to go back to my childhood days. But before that, I just want to answer your previous question. Always suggest people when I coach, I suggest them mindfulness. That is very important. Living in the present. What we do, those who have difficult life, they have passed through difficult phases of life. They usually dwell in their past, and those who don't have such problems, they live in future. But mindfulness teaches us to live in the present, and that's the best thing you can do. Do not waste the grace of tomorrow. Use your grace for today.
This is so beautiful.
If
And
you, yeah,
takeaway.
yeah, yeah. So if you finish the grace for, I mean, what you have stored for tomorrow, then when you reach that tomorrow, you will have no grace for that day. So live in the present. Live in the present. That's the best thing you can do. Okay. Now, if I for the question you asked now, if you when I see my childhood, the family took care of me. I lived with my maternal grandparents
Mm,
and my masi,
mm,
my uh, mosi, if
mm,
in Hindi, if we speak. So three of them literally gave me everything, all the support, food, um, and clothes, shelter, everything. I mean, I was brought up in a very cozy family,
mm.
very cozy family. But they forget the mental faculty of this Chiradeep, the kid one. And I did not grieve. I was a very timid guy. Okay,
Mm,
because I was not allowed to go downstairs.
mm,
Okay, there is a little space on the stairs. I sit there alone and make paper bats, and with the Chinese checker, those balls, I play myself. My left hand is the bowler, and my right hand is the bat. Because I am a lover of cricket. I love cricket. Uh, so I used to play alone. So loneliness was there. Okay. So my mentally I was very poor. I mean, I was longing for something which I wasn't getting. So the family members need to see, they need to have a holistic approach. Whenever they give support, they should see the whole thing. Okay, fine. Nowadays, this mental health and other things are, life skills are coming up. So many things are going on, so people are aware of it. I feel they're aware of it, but we take things for granted. We don't learn it. Okay. So family members need to learn it. How to support. They should actually Google and coach themselves. How to support my child who is going through this and that problem. They need to know. So
Yes.
that is my first advice, because if they don't give the support holistically, then one part of the child will be missing, and everybody won't have that attitude like mine. I'm not proud about myself, but I'm just saying everybody, because
Of yourself.
yeah.
I mean, you have done a lot to be proud of yourself.
No, what I mean to say is I'm not bragging about my strength, but everybody won't have that strength. I mean, uh, mm, there was one question. I just want to, I don't want to make it long. If you go back to your, if you get a chance to go back to your past and change something, what would you change? So that was the question, a prompt. And one person I saw, she wrote, and it was beautiful. I don't want to change anything, she wrote. She writes, I don't want to change anything, because if I change something, I won't be able to be the person who I am today.
Yeah.
That was so beautifully. So I would definitely suggest all the parents and family members to learn to support holistically.
So, if you wish to learn all of this, I think you are a wonderful coach to come to understand the needs of supporting a person with special needs. It not need not be always an health issue, but we need to just identify that, oh, I need to upgrade my learning in order to support somebody better, hold space for somebody better. And it was a wonderful conversation with you, Chiradeep. And I want to understand, like, if there was just one message that you can leave to our audience, and also one of the books that you can suggest, what would that be? What would be a message, and which book do you suggest? The book which is books from which you have written, from your library.
About the book, actually, I have a future book, but right now I have one book that is Beyond Barrenness. I would suggest that book to be read. It's not about infertility. It's about, sometimes a man also feel barren or fruitless. Okay. It's about a biblical character, but it's not nothing biblical about that book. It's all about how that character dealt with her own problems and trusting God, and she clears all the clutter and move ahead in her life. Uh, she literally, uh, from a fruitless barren to a fruitful mother. Okay, and that journey, I explained it, and that is also very helpful, and that's a best-selling book also, Amazon best-selling book, in one of the categories. I don't remember exactly. That book I would suggest, and also I will suggest my poetry book, which I published recently. I have literally expressed everything there, and I just want to read one poem which I have written. That's the first poem. That's actually who I am as a life coach. It says, the title of that poem is A Bridge. It says like this: I am born to create, not to destroy. I exist to mend the broken, not to break things down. I live to help reconcile, not to create dissension. I am not the protagonist, just a mere mediator. To God, this is my only prayer, never to make me an obstacle, but a bridge to cross over.
That's wonderful.
So
So deep.
I'm just a bridge. As a life coach, I'm just a bridge. Vent on me, use me as a bin, rubbish bin, put everything. I will take it, and I will help you to cross over from negativity to positivity, from unhealthy feelings to healthy feeling, from what do you call, all the negative vibes to positive vibes. Okay, that is my prayer, and that is my inner desire to help people. I'm just a mediator. I'm not the protagonist.
Yeah, and it takes a lot to do this. What you said, being the bridge, and when you say this so openly that you can
Mm.
dump it on me, you can tell it to me, and people don't know how much it takes to hold that container for a person who's suffering. And it is a skill that you learn, but
Yeah.
rather if you don't have that intention, and you are not in service of your soul or service to
Mm.
God, you cannot be doing this divine work, and I appreciate you for that. Your innocence, your authenticity, your flair of writing was everything that I could explore in this call. Thank you so much for coming to this channel, and I love this
I
conversation.
just want to I just want to cut you here. The last thing, I listen is a movement. It's not a company or something. It's a movement which focuses on active listening, character building, and self-awareness. Okay, I listen. I listen actively. I listen, and that helped me to uh, be the bridge. Okay, sorry. Please go ahead and close it.
I was done. Okay, so let's close this conversation for today, and you can subscribe to the channel to have almost all more conversations on this particular channel. So you can subscribe to it if you liked what you see. Thank you. Thanks a lot.